Okay, so with summer on the horizon, we are getting lots of questions about what happens if my child regresses as school stops, we change routine, or we're traveling this summer, household dynamics changing, adding a sibling. And so, what happens when this leads to a regression?
Yeah, if your child was doing really well and now all of a sudden they're leaking again or constipated again, what do you do? We are going to dive into that right now.
Okay, so when we think about this, we think of one of two kind of path or avenues. So either one, if your child's been to physical therapy or occupational therapy and started working through their constipation, their toileting dysfunction and challenges, maybe we didn't quite get the resolution that we thought, and this regression is occurring because there's still things to work on. Or potentially you got the resolution that you needed, but this extra stress caused a little bump. The further you get away from therapy, the less likely these are to happen, or from healing, shall we say. But we can have these little regressions and bumps in the road. And so, what do we do, and how quickly should they resolve?
Yeah, so I want to first bring to light what those scenarios can be because sometimes there can be some things that happen that cause a regression that maybe you think are not connected, but they are. And the biggest one that we like to talk about is illness or vomiting. We think a lot about environmental changes, a sibling is born, school is starting or ending. But one thing that can also affect pelvic floor functioning and maybe make symptoms come back a little bit is being sick, being vomiting, coughing a lot. Maybe you have an episode of asthma or some kind of illness and there's a lot of coughing. Think about what that does to the pelvic floor because of all of the changes that occur in your abdomen. And so if your child has worked through strategies and has gotten better, but maybe they can't carry it through this really big challenge, that's when symptoms might pop up again. And so it makes sense, coughing and vomiting and all of that pressure changes. We want to help you move through that and not regress completely with symptoms. And so, what are things that you're going to do to help combat this regression?
Absolutely. So regression can look like some pee leaks, little ones, a full one, maybe your child withholding or not going to the bathroom for a few days. It could look like starting to get some skid marks or poop leaks. It could happen really fast, or it might just be like a little slow regression. Both are potentials. So, what do we do? We go back to the basics, especially if you've been to therapy and you know what worked last time. So, thinking about making sure we're getting adequate water, or thinking about doing our massage or some tummy time, some belly breathing, big breathing relaxation, maybe some yoga, making sure your kid is getting adequate movement, but also time to rest and digest. So those basics can seem silly, but with these regressions, they can have a really big impact and help them get back on track faster. What else do you consider?
I think knowing that helping a family to understand you cannot change these environmental factors sometimes. And you have to have peace with that. And you have to know that what you did last time worked to some degree, right? And so you're going to pull those things out and you're going to have confidence that, okay, we're going to get back into this. You're not going back to square one. And so have some peace with that. You know what skills worked last time, bring those out again. Healing is not linear. So even though your child has regressed, they're still hopefully on this overall trend upwards to completely resolving their toileting challenges. And so I think having a lot of peace, grounding yourself in what you already know, and just kind of digging into the tools in your toolbox that you have, and not getting into this moment of panic can be really helpful.
Absolutely. So, encouraging your child that, hey, we have worked through this, we know this, I think can be also really helpful because everyone can become a little discouraged.
Yeah. And if those tools aren't helping you get back to the place that you need to be, we are here to support you and would love to help you get back to that 100% resolution so that your child can move forward into vacations and new school routines without toileting challenges.
We hope this was helpful.
See you next time.